Hey everyone, this is Kerbal Space Program Career Mode. This isn't properly a mission so much as an aside, somewhere between Mission 4 and Mission 5. This is my first attempt at a spaceplane design. It's not my first attempt at flying this particular design, but it is my first recorded attempt. With that said, we're going to see how far we can get this thing to go. Hopefully we'll get to orbit and back all in one piece without, crashing or exploding or, anybody dying. With that said, I'm going to go ahead and shut up and let you watch the rest of the video. Alright, we've made it up to our target altitude. Pretty soon we're going to go ahead and engage the rocket engine to try and boost up into space. The jet engines won't be good for much longer since they're pretty much running out of air. Once we engage the rocket engine, this thing pretty much works like any other rocket, though with a bit of excess weight due to the wings and engines, as you can see here. At this point, we're just going to push for reasonable orbit altitude and then attempt to circularize. Or perhaps not circularize. I don't remember if I did that or just tried to see how far out I could get with one flight. Anyway, let's see what happens. Alright, at this point you can see we've exhausted our fuel supply. We've made a maximum outward distance of about 2.1 million meters. It's not enough to get to a moon or anything like that, but it is pretty impressive for a first run. It's definitely not a stable orbit. We're probably going to come decaying back in once we reach periapsis. Until then, there's really not much else to do on this flight, so we're going to go ahead and speed forward, get to periapsis, and see if I can land. And with that, we've reached periapsis and are now ready to descend into the atmosphere for a landing. Shortly you'll see why I was forced to name this prototype the Phoenix like so many others before me. As you can see, it has a tendency to look a bit like a bird of fire as it re-enters, which I thought was, of course, way too cool of an effect to ignore, even though it's really not all that original. to name it anything else. But I still think it's cool, so that's that. So, as you can see, my landing attempts for this plane take a significant amount of time. I'm probably a little bit skittish about falling through the atmosphere a little too fast, but realistically I could descend much quicker. In the future I'll probably try and not, cruise down at like 9 meters per second the entire drop, because it gets pretty annoying. I'm going to go ahead and speed up the video considerably. I'm going to apologize now for all the twitching. I probably need to develop some better habits if I'm going to be recording a lot of these videos. Anyway, let's go ahead and get this thing sped up so we're not waiting for forever for this thing to land. Momentarily you're going to see me having a little trouble keeping the plane flying straight. Apparently going at this speed this close to the ground, making adjustments, tends to cause this particular design to kind of want to shear sharply one direction or another. I'm going to have to put the speed back on and try and readjust the approach before I make any further attempts to land. And so here we are at just under 50 meters up, dropping a little slower than 2 meters per second. At this point we're coming in for our final landing. Hopefully it'll go pretty smooth and we won't get any of that weird turning like last time, but let's see what happens. And that's touchdown. A bit rocky, but looks like we've managed to keep all of our wings. We've engaged the brakes and we are slowing to a stop. All in all, a pretty successful flight. I'm pretty pleased with this design. It will need some updates in the future, I think, as I get more parts, at least to maybe get a little bit more efficiency. The rocket engine in use, of course, is not the most efficient, neither are the jet engines, but all in all, it's pretty good. I think at this point, I don't know, I might pop Jeb out and, yeah, let's see if we can, I don't know, gather some samples or plant a flag or something, at least make this mission worthwhile, even though it's not really officially a mission, at least in my book. But let's see, we'll do an EVA report, and can we take a surface sample? Yeah, we got a surface sample from here, so let's keep the surface sample of Kerbal dirt. And I think that's pretty much it for this video. So other than that, thanks for watching, and hopefully at some point in the future I'll be sending something very similar to this to, who knows, maybe the moon or even further.